If someone had told me that the worst day of my life would begin with a California sunset, I never would have believed them. My name is Claire Morgan. I was 30 years old, 7 months pregnant, and living what most people would call a dream life. Our house sat on the cliffs of Malibu, overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Every evening, the sunset turned the water gold, and every morning, I woke up believing I was the luckiest woman in California. I had a successful career as an interior designer specializing in luxury coastal homes. My husband, Ethan Morgan, was one of the most respected trauma surgeons in Los Angeles. And after 3 years of trying, countless doctor's appointments, and more tears than I cared to remember, we were finally expecting our first child. A daughter. We had already chosen her name. Grace. I remember standing in her nursery that evening, folding tiny pink blankets while soft jazz music played through the speakers. The room was perfect. The crib was handmade. The walls were painted a pale cream color that Ethan had spent weeks choosing. There was even a small telescope near the window because Ethan wanted our daughter to grow up watching the stars over the Pacific. For a moment, I allowed myself to believe that happiness could actually last forever. Then my phone rang. I didn't need to look at the screen. I already knew who it was. Sophia Reed. Ethan's former fiancée. The woman he insisted was just someone who needed help. The woman who somehow managed to appear in our lives every single time we started feeling happy. I stared at the phone until it stopped ringing. 30 seconds later, Ethan's phone rang downstairs. A minute later, I heard his footsteps. I already knew what he was going to say. He appeared in the doorway of the nursery still wearing his hospital scrubs. He looked exhausted. But he also looked worried. And I knew exactly who he was worried about. "It's Sophia," he said quietly. Of course it was. "What happened this time?" I asked. He sighed. "She's having another panic attack." I nodded. Again. For the past 2 years, Sophia had experienced an endless series of emergencies. Panic attacks. Depression. Anxiety episodes. Loneliness. Every crisis somehow required my husband's immediate attention. Every crisis somehow happened during our anniversaries, vacations, birthdays, and family dinners. I folded another blanket. "Are you leaving?" He didn't answer immediately. That was answer enough. "Claire." He walked toward me. "I'll only be gone for a few hours." I laughed. Not because anything was funny. Because I was tired. Tired of pretending I didn't see what was happening. Tired of convincing myself that love meant accepting everything. Tired of sharing my husband with another woman. "Ethan," I asked quietly, "do you still love her?" The room became silent. Outside, waves crashed against the cliffs below our house. He looked away. And somehow, that hurt more than any answer could have. "Claire, it's complicated." No. It wasn't. Complicated meant there was still a choice to make. And suddenly, I realized that maybe he had already made it. I placed both hands on my stomach. Our daughter kicked. Strong. Alive. Real. Then I asked the question that would destroy everything. If something happened to me, I said softly, and something happened to Sophia at the same time. I paused. Ethan looked at me. "Who would you save?" For the first time in 6 years of marriage, my husband had no answer. And in that moment, before he even opened his mouth, I knew that our story was already over. Ethan didn't answer my question. He didn't have to. Sometimes silence tells you everything you've spent years trying not to see. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. The only sound in the nursery was the distant crash of waves against the cliffs below our house. Then Ethan exhaled slowly. "Claire, this isn't fair." I almost laughed. Not because it was funny. Because hearing those words after everything I'd sacrificed felt surreal. What's not fair? I asked. The question? Or the fact that you can't answer it? He rubbed his forehead. You know Sophia isn't well. There it was again. The same explanation. The same excuse. The same woman. For the past 2 years, Sophia Reed had existed like a ghost inside our marriage. She wasn't physically with us every day. In some ways, that would have been easier. Instead, she was always there in the background. A phone call during dinner. A panic attack during our anniversary trip to Napa Valley. A crisis during Christmas. An emergency during my birthday. And somehow, every single time, Ethan went to her. Because according to him, she had nobody else. I walked to the large window overlooking the Pacific. The sunset was gone now. The ocean had turned black. When was the last time you chose me? I asked quietly. He didn't respond. When was the last time I came first? Claire. No. Tell me. He opened his mouth. Then closed it. Again, he had no answer. That hurt more than if he had admitted everything. I turned to face him. Did you ever stop loving her? For the first time that evening, I saw panic in his eyes. Not because he was angry. Because he was afraid of the truth. We were engaged, he finally said. I know. We were together for 6 years. I know. I thought I was going to marry her. I swallowed hard. I know. The room felt smaller. The air felt heavier. I suddenly remembered our wedding day. How Ethan had looked at me while I walked down the aisle. How safe I had felt. How loved. Had I imagined all of it? Or had I simply been the woman he chose because he couldn't have the one he really wanted? His phone vibrated again. We both looked down. Sophia. Of course. He picked it up immediately. Hello? I watched his face change. Concern. Fear. Urgency. The emotions I had been begging to see directed at me for years. What happened? He asked. A pause. I'm coming. He ended the call. I have to go. I stared at him. No apology. No hesitation. Just certainty. The doctor told me I could go into labor at any time, I said. I know. You promised you wouldn't leave. I know. And you're leaving anyway. He grabbed his car keys. She needs me. 3 words. 3 simple words. And somehow, they destroyed 6 years of marriage. She needs me. Not you. Not your daughter. Her. I felt something inside me break. Not my heart. Something deeper. Something that would never heal the same way again. Ethan walked toward the front door. Then he stopped. For a second, I thought he might turn around. I thought he might choose us. Instead, he looked back and smiled sadly. I'll be home before midnight. Then he left. I stood there alone. One hand on my stomach. Listening to the sound of his car disappearing down the Malibu coast. I didn't know it then. But that would be the last night I would ever spend believing that Ethan Morgan was my husband. I didn't sleep that night. I told myself it was because I was 8 months pregnant. Because my back hurt. Because my daughter kept kicking. But deep down, I knew the truth. I was waiting. Waiting for Ethan to come home. Waiting for him to prove that I still mattered. Midnight came. No Ethan. 1 o'clock. Nothing. At 2 in the morning, I finally called him. He answered after the 4th ring. He sounded tired. And strangely comfortable. Claire? Where are you? A long pause. I'm with Sophia. Of course. I closed my eyes. Is she okay? Another pause. She's sleeping. Sleeping. At 2 o'clock in the morning. And my husband was still there. I suddenly didn't want to know anything else. I see, I said quietly. Claire, listen. But I hung up. I spent the rest of the night sitting in Grace's nursery, watching the moonlight spill across the Pacific Ocean. At some point, I stopped crying. I simply became numb. By sunrise, I had made a decision. Not about Ethan. About myself. I would stop begging someone to choose me. The next morning, the house was silent. Ethan still hadn't come home. I made coffee. I sat on the terrace. I watched surfers in the distance riding the morning waves. For the first time in years, I imagined a future without my husband. It terrified me. And strangely, it also felt peaceful. Then my phone rang. It was Ethan. Claire, I'm on my way home. His voice sounded rushed. Good. We need to talk. Yes, I said. We do. 40 minutes later, I heard his car pull into the driveway. He walked into the house looking exhausted. The same clothes. The same expression. The smell of Sophia's perfume still lingering on his jacket. He stopped when he saw the suitcase. One suitcase. Placed beside the front door. What is this? He asked. I looked at him calmly. My things. His face changed. Claire, don't do this. I almost smiled. After everything that had happened, he still believed I was threatening him. He still believed I would stay. I spent all night thinking, I said. And I realized something. He didn't move. I've spent 6 years competing with a woman who was never really gone. That's not true. Then where were you last night? He opened his mouth. Closed it. Again. No answer. I placed my hand on my stomach. Grace kicked. Strong. Alive. A reminder that someone still needed me. I don't know if you love Sophia, I said. And honestly, I don't think it matters anymore. Claire. What matters is that every single time you've had to choose between us. My voice broke. You never chose me. For the first time since we met, Ethan looked afraid. Not angry. Not defensive. Afraid. As if he suddenly realized that I might actually leave. He took a step toward me. Then another. Claire, please. At that exact moment, a sharp pain exploded through my abdomen. I gasped. My coffee cup slipped from my hand and shattered on the marble floor. Another pain. Stronger. More violent. I grabbed the edge of the kitchen counter. Ethan's face turned white. Claire? I couldn't breathe. Warm liquid ran down my legs. I looked down. Blood. A lot of blood. Our eyes met. And for the first time in months, I saw only one thing in my husband's face. Pure terror. Call an ambulance, I whispered. Then everything went black. The first thing I heard was the sound of sirens. The second was Ethan's voice. Claire. Stay with me. Please, stay with me. I opened my eyes for a second. The ceiling above me was moving. Paramedics. Bright lights. Cold air. Pain. So much pain. I tried to speak. Grace. Ethan grabbed my hand. She's okay. You're both going to be okay. For the first time in months, he sounded like my husband again. Not Sophia's protector. Not the famous surgeon. My husband. The man I had fallen in love with. I wanted to believe him. God, I wanted to believe him. Another wave of pain hit me. Everything disappeared. When I woke up again, I was in the emergency department at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Doctors surrounded me. Machines beeped. Someone was shouting numbers. A nurse squeezed my hand. "Mrs. Morgan, stay awake. Baby." I whispered. "We're doing everything we can." I searched the room. "Ethan?" No answer. A doctor looked at another nurse. Then away from me. My heart stopped. "Where's my husband?" The nurse hesitated. Dr. Morgan had to step away. Step away. The words didn't make sense. Our daughter could be dying. I could be dying. And my husband had stepped away. Then I heard shouting in the hallway. A woman's voice. Crying. Screaming. "Sophia." Even through the medication, I recognized her immediately. "No," she screamed. "I need Ethan. Please. Don't leave me." The room became silent. No. 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 A moment later, Ethan appeared in the doorway. For one brief, beautiful second, I felt relief. He came back. He chose us. He walked toward my bed. His face was pale. He looked terrified. I reached for his hand. "Ethan." He grabbed it immediately. "I'm here." I started crying. Not because of the pain. Because I finally believed I mattered. Then another doctor rushed into the room. Dr. Morgan. Sophia collapsed. Ethan froze. "What's wrong?" "Severe panic attack. Possible overdose." The world stopped. The doctor looked at me. Then at Ethan. "Your wife needs emergency surgery now. Her blood pressure is crashing." Another contraction. Another explosion of pain. I screamed. "Ethan." I whispered. He looked at me. Then toward the hallway. Then back at me. I knew that look. I had seen it for 2 years. The look he only gave one person. "Sophia. She has no one else," he said quietly. I stared at him. "No. Not now. Not today. Not while our daughter was fighting to live." "You promised," I whispered. His eyes filled with guilt. "I'm sorry." 3 words. 3 words that destroyed everything. He slowly let go of my hand. Actually let go. Then he turned. And walked out of the room. Toward Sophia. Away from me. Away from his daughter. I remember screaming his name. I remember nurses holding me down. I remember crying so hard I couldn't breathe. And I remember one terrible thought repeating over and over inside my head. He chose her. In the end. He really chose her. People always say that when your life falls apart, everything happens in slow motion. They're wrong. It happens all at once. 1 second, you're holding on to the person you love. The next, you're watching them walk away. The last thing I saw before they rushed me into surgery was the empty doorway. The doorway Ethan had disappeared through. The doorway he had chosen over me. Over us. Then everything went black. I woke up to silence. No machines screaming. No doctors shouting. Just silence. For a moment, I didn't know where I was. The room was dark. Soft afternoon sunlight spilled through the window. My body hurt in ways I didn't know were possible. I tried to move. Pain shot through my abdomen. Then I remembered. The blood. The ambulance. Ethan. Grace. Oh God. Grace. My heart started pounding. I pressed the call button with shaking hands. A nurse entered almost immediately. She looked relieved. "Mrs. Morgan, you're awake." My daughter, I whispered. Where's my daughter? The nurse smiled gently. She's alive. I closed my eyes. The first breath I took felt like the first breath of my entire life. Alive. My baby was alive. Tears rolled down my face. Can I see her? The nurse hesitated. Just for a second. But I noticed. What's wrong? She was born prematurely, she said carefully. She's in the neonatal intensive care unit. I nodded. Of course. But she's stable, the nurse quickly added. Stable. Not healthy. Not safe. Stable. I had never hated a word more. How long was I asleep? I asked. Almost 20 hours. 20 hours. 20 hours of my daughter's life. Gone. Where's my husband? The nurse looked down at the floor. That was when I knew. Not suspected. Knew. Mrs. Morgan. No. My voice cracked. No. She looked at me with pity. The kind of pity nobody wants. Dr. Morgan stayed with another patient. Another patient. I almost laughed. Not because it was funny. Because it was unbelievable. I nearly died. Our daughter nearly died. And my husband had stayed with another woman. How long? I asked. The nurse remained silent. How long? Until this morning. I stared at her. 20 hours. He spent 20 hours with Sophia. And not 1 minute with his daughter. Something inside me broke. Not dramatically. Not loudly. Quietly. Completely. At that moment, I stopped waiting for Ethan to come back. Because I finally understood something. You cannot lose someone who was never truly yours. 2 hours later, they wheeled me to the neonatal intensive care unit. The room was filled with tiny sounds. Monitors. Breathing machines. Soft voices. Then I saw her. Grace. She was so small. So impossibly small. A tiny pink hat covered her head. Tubes surrounded her. Machines breathed beside her. But she was alive. My daughter was alive. I reached through the opening in the incubator and touched her tiny hand. She wrapped her fingers around mine. And for the first time in 2 days, I stopped thinking about Ethan. I stopped thinking about Sophia. I stopped thinking about betrayal. Because suddenly, none of them mattered. Only her. Only us. Then I heard footsteps behind me. I already knew who it was. Ethan. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. Because I was afraid that if I looked at him, I would remember that I still loved him. And I hated myself for that. I heard Ethan stop behind me. For a few seconds, neither of us spoke. The only sound was the steady rhythm of machines keeping our daughter alive. I kept my eyes on Grace. I couldn't look at him. Not yet. Not after everything. She's beautiful, he finally whispered. My hand tightened around the edge of the incubator. She almost died. The words came out colder than I expected. He didn't answer. She almost died, I repeated. And so did I. Silence. I laughed quietly. Not because anything was funny. Because I had spent years imagining what I would say if Ethan ever truly hurt me. I had prepared speeches. Arguments. Tears. I never imagined that when the moment finally came, I would feel absolutely nothing. I was with Sophia, he said. Of course he was. I finally turned around. He looked terrible. His eyes were red. His hair was messy. His shirt was wrinkled. He looked like a man who hadn't slept. A part of me wanted to feel sorry for him. That part of me died yesterday. Why? I asked. He opened his mouth, then stopped. Because there was no answer. Not one that could justify leaving his wife and newborn daughter alone. She tried to hurt herself, he finally said. I stared at him. Then I looked at Grace. My daughter. Our daughter. Fighting for every breath. And suddenly, I understood something terrifying. He still didn't get it. Even now. Even after everything. He still believed there was a choice to be made. He still believed Sophia's pain and my pain existed on the same scale. They told me I lost consciousness for almost 20 hours, I said quietly. He nodded. They told me Grace might not survive the night. He closed his eyes. I know. They told me you never came. He looked away. And there it was. The truth. Not hidden. Not explained away. Not softened. Just the truth. He never came. I waited for you, I whispered. For the first time since he'd entered the room, Ethan looked like he was about to break. Claire. I waited. Tears filled his eyes. I thought you would understand. I actually smiled. Not because I was happy. Because I finally understood. After 6 years of marriage. After years of sacrifice. After giving him every piece of myself. He still believed I would forgive him. Because I always had. Until now. I looked at my daughter. Then back at the man I had once loved more than anyone in the world. I want a divorce. The words felt strangely peaceful. Ethan stared at me. As if he hadn't heard correctly. What? I want a divorce. No. He said it immediately. Not with anger. With fear. Claire, you're emotional. I almost laughed. Emotional. After nearly dying. After watching my daughter fight for her life. After being abandoned by my own husband. No. I wasn't emotional. For the first time in years, I was completely clear. I'm done, I said. He stepped toward me. Please. The words sounded unfamiliar coming from him. Because for the first time, he was the one asking not to be left behind. And for the first time, I was the one walking away. Or at least, I would. As soon as our daughter was strong enough to come home. But there was one thing Ethan didn't know. One truth I had discovered while he was with Sophia. A truth that would destroy whatever remained of our marriage. Because Sophia hadn't just taken my husband. She had been planning to take everything. I didn't tell Ethan what I had discovered. Not that day. Not while our daughter was still connected to machines. Not while a part of me still couldn't believe it myself. He left the hospital an hour later. Not because he wanted to. Because I asked him to. No. I demanded it. For the first time in our marriage, he listened. As soon as he walked out of the NICU, I took out my phone. There were dozens of unread messages. Friends. Family. Colleagues. Everyone had heard that I had gone into emergency surgery. Everyone except the one person who mattered. My mother. She had died 5 years earlier. Sometimes grief waits patiently. Then attacks when you're already broken. I closed my eyes. Then I opened the email that had changed everything. It had arrived the previous night. At 11:47 p.m. While I was unconscious. The sender's name was unfamiliar. Emily Carter. The subject line read, "You deserve to know the truth about your husband." At first, I assumed it was spam. Or a cruel joke. But then I opened the attachment. And my entire world collapsed. There were photographs. Not old photographs. Recent ones. Ethan. And Sophia. Together. At restaurants. At the beach in Santa Monica. Walking through Beverly Hills. Holding hands. Laughing. Kissing. The oldest photo was dated 14 months ago. The newest one had been taken less than 2 weeks earlier. 2 weeks. At that time, I had been decorating our daughter's nursery, while my husband had been building another life. I remember staring at the screen for almost an hour. Not crying. Not screaming. Just staring. Because some betrayals are so large that your brain refuses to accept them. Then I saw the final attachment. A screenshot. A bank transfer. From Ethan Morgan. To Sophia Reed. Amount. $487,000. I stopped breathing. Nearly $500,000. Our money. Our daughter's future. Gone. The message below the transfer was even worse. Don't worry. Claire still doesn't know anything. I read that sentence again. And again. And again. Until the words stopped feeling real. Claire still doesn't know. I looked through every attachment. There were dozens. No. Hundreds. Vacations. Hotel reservations. Private medical payments. Luxury apartment contracts. Jewelry receipts. For over a year, my husband had been secretly funding Sophia's entire life. Not helping her. Not supporting her. Maintaining her. While I sat at home believing I was married to a good man. A nurse entered the room. I quickly locked my phone. You should rest, she said gently. I nodded. But I wasn't tired anymore. Not physically. Not emotionally. Something else had replaced my pain. Something colder. Something sharper. Understanding. At that moment, I realized I had been asking the wrong question all along. I had asked Ethan who he would save. But that was never the real question. The real question was, had he ever actually chosen me? As I looked at my daughter sleeping inside her incubator, I finally accepted the truth. No. He hadn't. And for the first time since I met Ethan Morgan, I stopped wondering how to save my marriage. I started wondering how to destroy the lies it had been built on. For the next 3 days, I said nothing. Not to Ethan. Not to the doctors. Not even to myself. I spent every waking hour sitting beside Grace's incubator, watching her tiny chest rise and fall. Each breath she took felt like a miracle. Each breath reminded me why I had to stay strong. Ethan visited every day. He brought flowers. Coffee. Apologies. I accepted none of them. He sat beside me for hours, trying to explain. Trying to convince me that what I saw wasn't what I thought. The problem was, I had spent too many years believing what I wanted to believe. I wasn't going to make that mistake again. On the 4th day, my phone rang. Unknown number. Normally, I wouldn't have answered. But something told me I should. Hello? For a few seconds, nobody spoke. Then a woman quietly said, I'm Emily. My heart stopped. Emily Carter. The woman who had sent the email. I stood up immediately and walked into the hallway. Who are you? I asked. She was silent for a moment. Then she said something I never expected. I'm Sophia's sister. The world around me disappeared. What? I know this sounds insane, she said. But you need to listen to me. I leaned against the wall. Why did you send me those photos? Because somebody had to. I closed my eyes. No. Tell me the truth. She took a deep breath. The truth is that Sophia has been lying to everyone. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? The panic attacks. The emergencies. The breakdowns. She paused. They're real sometimes. But not most of the time. I couldn't breathe. No. I'm sorry. No. Because if what she was saying was true, then everything was worse than I imagined. She planned this, Emily said quietly. Planned what? You. The hallway suddenly felt too small. Explain. After Ethan married you, Sophia became obsessed. I pressed my hand against the wall. Obsessed? She kept photographs of you. My blood ran cold. She followed your social media. Silence. She knew your schedule. Another silence. She knew your pregnancy appointments. I stopped breathing. What? Emily began crying. I tried to stop her. No. 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 The night you were admitted to the hospital. Emily whispered. Sophia knew exactly where you were. The fluorescent lights above me blurred. I felt sick. You mean? She wasn't having an emergency. My heart pounded so hard I thought I would collapse. Then why did Ethan leave? Emily's answer destroyed whatever remained of my old life. Because she called him and told him she was going to kill herself if he didn't come. I slid slowly down the wall. The phone nearly fell from my hand. All this time. All this suffering. All this destruction. Because one woman couldn't accept being left behind. And one man couldn't accept letting her go. There's something else, Emily whispered. I didn't want to hear it. I knew I didn't. But I asked anyway. What? The night you almost died. She started crying. Claire. Sophia wasn't trying to hurt herself. My entire body froze. Then who was she trying to hurt? There was a long silence. A terrible silence. Then Emily spoke. You. And for the first time since waking up in that hospital bed, I felt something stronger than heartbreak. Fear. I don't remember how long I sat on the floor of that hospital hallway. Minutes. Hours. Maybe both. People walked past me. Doctors. Nurses. Families carrying flowers and balloons. Nobody knew that my entire reality had just shattered. Claire? Emily's voice came through the phone. I forced myself to breathe. Tell me everything. She was silent for a moment. As if deciding whether I could handle the truth. I wasn't sure I could. But I needed to know. 3 weeks before you were admitted, she began, Sophia found out Ethan had transferred money into a trust fund for your daughter. I frowned. What trust fund? There was another pause. The one worth $2 million. My heart stopped. $2 million? I had never heard of any trust fund. Ethan and I shared everything. Or at least, I thought we did. He never told you? Emily asked quietly. No. Oh, God. I closed my eyes. Keep talking. Please. After she found out about the trust fund, Sophia became convinced that Ethan was choosing you. I almost laughed. Choosing me? The irony was so cruel it hurt. She started saying things. What things? That if you disappeared, Ethan would finally stop pretending. My blood ran cold. What? Claire, I thought she was angry. I thought she was being dramatic. She began crying. I didn't know she was serious. My hand started shaking. You said she knew where I was. Yes. How? Emily hesitated. Then she said the one thing I never expected. Ethan told her. The world stopped. No. Not possible. He would never. He didn't know why she was asking, Emily interrupted. He told her because she said she wanted to send flowers after the baby was born. I couldn't breathe. The room spun. My husband had unknowingly given the woman obsessed with replacing me the exact location where I would be alone and vulnerable. And she used it. Did she plan to kill me? I whispered. Emily cried harder. I don't know. That wasn't true. We both knew. She just couldn't say it. Then I remembered something. The knife. The blood. Her face. The words she'd whispered. When you and the baby are gone. Gone. Not hurt. Not scared. Gone. My stomach turned. Did the police question her? I asked. Yes. And? She said she had a psychotic episode. Of course she did. And Ethan? Emily was silent. That silence was worse than any answer. What did Ethan do? I asked again. He hired her a lawyer. I stopped breathing. No. 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 Not after what she'd done. Not after what she tried to do to me. Not after what she almost did to our daughter. He said she wasn't responsible, Emily whispered. He said she was sick. I closed my eyes. And suddenly, I understood everything. The late-night calls. The cancelled anniversaries. The panic attacks. The excuses. The money. The lies. The choice. It had never been about one terrible decision. It had been thousands of decisions. Thousands of times he chose her. And thousands of times I chose to forgive him. Until now. Claire? Emily asked softly. Yes. What are you going to do? I looked through the hospital window. The sun was setting over Los Angeles. The sky was painted orange and gold. Beautiful. Peaceful. Nothing like the storm inside me. Then I looked back toward the NICU. Toward my daughter. Toward the only person who had never betrayed me. And for the first time since that terrible night, I smiled. Not because I was happy. Because I finally knew exactly what I was going to do. I'm going to take back my life. And this time, I wasn't asking anyone for permission. The next morning, I asked for a lawyer. Not Ethan's lawyer. Not a family friend. Not someone who knew our names. I wanted a stranger. Someone who would look at the facts and nothing else. 3 hours later, a woman named Victoria Hayes walked into my hospital room. She was in her 40s, wore a navy blue suit, and carried a leather briefcase that looked older than my marriage. She didn't smile. I liked her immediately. Mrs. Morgan, she said, sitting down beside my bed. I understand you're considering divorce. Considering. I almost laughed. No, I said calmly. I'm planning one. For the first time, she smiled. Good. I handed her my phone. The photographs. The bank transfers. The messages. She spent nearly 20 minutes reading everything. When she finished, she closed the phone slowly. Does your husband know you have this? No. Good. She leaned back in her chair. Then you currently have the advantage. The advantage. It was the first time anyone had used that word in relation to my marriage. For years, I had been losing. Losing time. Losing trust. Losing myself. Maybe it was time someone else lost. What happens now? I asked. Victoria opened her briefcase. First, we protect you. She pulled out a folder. Second, we protect your daughter. Another folder. Third, she said, looking directly at me, we protect your assets. My assets. I had almost forgotten I had any. You own half of everything, she continued. The Malibu house. The investment properties. The business accounts. The retirement funds. I stared at her. All this time, I had been thinking about survival. I had forgotten about justice. Then she said something that changed everything. There's another issue. What issue? She slid a document toward me. I looked at the heading. Morgan Medical Holdings. My blood ran cold. I recognized the company. Ethan's private surgical practice. What about it? Victoria looked at me carefully. Mrs. Morgan, according to public records. She paused. You own 51%. I blinked. What? She nodded. Your husband transferred majority ownership to you 3 years ago. 3 years. Right after our second miscarriage. I remembered. He had said he wanted me to feel secure. Protected. Loved. I had signed papers through tears and never looked at them again. Are you telling me? Yes. Victoria folded her hands. If you file for divorce today, you legally control his company. For the first time since waking up in that hospital bed, I didn't feel weak. I didn't feel abandoned. I didn't feel betrayed. I felt dangerous. At that exact moment, my phone lit up. A text message. From Ethan. Can we talk? Please. I miss you. I miss our family, ***. I stared at the screen. Then I looked at the sleeping daughter beside me. The daughter he had left. The daughter he had chosen not to save. Slowly, I typed a response. Come tomorrow. We need to discuss our future, ***. A few seconds later, he replied. Thank you. I love you, ***. I looked at those 3 words. 3 words I had spent years wanting to hear. And for the first time in my life, they meant absolutely nothing. Because Ethan Morgan still believed he was coming to save his marriage. He had no idea he was walking into the beginning of its destruction. The next afternoon, Ethan arrived exactly at 3 o'clock. He had always been punctual. Every surgery. Every meeting. Every promise. Except the promises he had made to me. From my hospital window, I watched his black Range Rover pull into the parking lot. For one brief second, my heart still reacted. Not because I wanted him back. Because it hadn't yet learned that he was no longer my safe place. He walked into the room carrying white roses. My favorite flowers. You look better, he said. I almost died. His smile disappeared. I know. No. I looked straight into his eyes. You know the sentence. You don't know what it felt like. Grace slept peacefully beside my bed, wrapped in a tiny pink blanket. The afternoon sun lit her face like she had never known pain. Ethan slowly stepped toward the bassinet. Can I hold her? No. He stopped. Claire, please. You had 20 hours. His forehead tightened. What do you mean? You had 20 hours after she was born. You never came. He lowered his head. I was with Sophia. I know. I thought she needed me. I let out a quiet laugh. And I didn't? Our daughter didn't? He had no answer. For years Ethan always knew exactly what to say. He comforted grieving families. He calmed terrified patients. But now, words failed him. I made the biggest mistake of my life, he whispered. No. I shook my head. A mistake happens once. You chose Sophia hundreds of times. Every holiday. Every anniversary. Every vacation. And finally, I looked at Grace. The day your daughter was born. His eyes filled with tears. I love you. I believe you think you do. He looked up hopefully. But love isn't measured by words. It's measured by choices. The hope disappeared from his face. I'll end everything with Sophia. You should. Then, can we fix this? No. Silence settled over the room. Outside, helicopters crossed the Los Angeles skyline. Inside, our marriage quietly ended. I picked up my phone. There's something you need to see. He frowned. I handed it to him. It was the email Emily had sent. He opened the first attachment. A photograph of him and Sophia kissing outside a restaurant in Beverly Hills. Color drained from his face. There are more, I said. He kept scrolling. Malibu. Santa Monica. Palm Springs. Luxury hotels. Weekend trips. Every photo had a date. Every date matched a night he had told me he was working late. Then he reached the bank records. Hundreds of thousands of dollars transferred to Sophia. Jewelry. Rent. Vacations. His breathing became uneven. Finally, he reached the last screenshot. Once Claire is gone, Ethan will finally belong to me. His fingers began to shake. No. He whispered it again. No. He looked at me. I swear. I never knew. I believe you. Hope appeared in his eyes. Only for a second. I believe you didn't know how dangerous she had become. I gently took the phone back. But every lie she told. I locked the screen. Only worked because you trusted her more than you trusted your own wife. He opened his mouth. Nothing came out. For the first time since I met Ethan Morgan. He had no defense left. The room remained silent long after Ethan stopped speaking. For the first time since I had met him, he looked completely lost. Not angry. Not defensive. Just broken. He slowly lowered himself into the chair beside the window, staring at the floor as if everything he believed about his own life had suddenly fallen apart. I really didn't know, he whispered. I know. He looked up at me. You believe me? I believe you didn't know she wanted to destroy me. I paused. But you gave her every opportunity. His shoulders sank even lower. I thought I was protecting someone who couldn't protect herself. I looked toward Grace. So did I. He followed my eyes to our daughter. She stretched her tiny fingers in her sleep before settling back against her blanket. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Finally, Ethan stood. I need to talk to Sophia. No. He frowned. What? You don't owe her another conversation. I need answers. You already have them. He shook his head. I have to hear it from her. Before I could stop him, he reached for his phone. He dialed Sophia immediately. 1 ring. 2. 3. No answer. He called again. Voicemail. Again. Nothing. A strange expression crossed his face. She always answers. I said nothing. He opened their message thread. The last message had been sent that morning. Are you coming? No reply. He typed another. We need to talk. Call me immediately, ****. The message showed as delivered. But it was never read. For the first time, I saw genuine fear in his eyes. Not fear of losing me. Fear that he no longer knew the woman he had spent years defending. Just then, someone knocked gently on the hospital door. It was Victoria. She stepped inside carrying a thick folder. I'm sorry to interrupt. Her eyes briefly moved toward Ethan. Actually. She looked directly at him. I'm here because this concerns you as well. Ethan frowned. What happened? Victoria placed the folder on the table. I hired a private investigator this morning. He stared at her. You what? I wanted to verify the information Claire received. She opened the folder. There are security photos from this morning. Ethan stepped closer. Victoria slid the first picture across the table. Sophia. Standing outside a downtown Los Angeles bank. Perfectly dressed. Perfectly calm. No panic attack. No tears. No frightened patient. The second photo showed her leaving with 2 large suitcases. The third. She was smiling. Holding hands with a man Ethan had never seen before. His face slowly turned pale. Who is that? Victoria calmly turned another page. We don't know yet. She looked him directly in the eyes. But one thing is already clear. She paused. The woman you spent years trying to save was already planning her next life without you. For the next 2 days, Ethan disappeared. He didn't call. He didn't text. He didn't come back to the hospital. For the first time since I had known him, he wasn't chasing Sophia. He was chasing the truth. On the third morning, my phone rang. It was Ethan. His voice sounded different. Not desperate. Not emotional. Just exhausted. Claire, he said quietly. Can I see you? I looked at Grace sleeping peacefully beside me. I have nothing left to say. I do. Silence. Please. Against my better judgment, I agreed. An hour later, he walked into my room carrying no flowers. No gifts. Only a thick brown envelope. He placed it on the table between us. I hired a private investigator. I looked at him without saying a word. I thought Emily's email couldn't possibly tell the whole story. He slowly pushed the envelope toward me. I was wrong. Inside were dozens of photographs. Security camera images. Restaurant receipts. Bank statements. Phone records. Everything pointed to one person. Sophia. The investigator had reconstructed almost 2 years of her life. Every panic attack happened on a day Ethan had planned something with me. Every hospital visit coincided with one of our anniversaries. Every emergency occurred when we tried to spend time together. None of it was random. She had been watching us. Planning everything. There was more, Ethan said. I continued reading. The investigator had also found messages Sophia had deleted from her phone. Most were harmless. Until I reached the final page. A conversation with an unknown number. He's pulling away. Not for long. She's pregnant now. Then make sure she becomes the problem. I felt my stomach tighten. Even after everything, those words chilled me. Ethan lowered his head. I never imagined. You never wanted to imagine. He closed his eyes. You're right. For the first time. He didn't defend her. He didn't make excuses. He accepted the truth. Then he quietly reached into the envelope and removed one final document. A receipt. Private investigator surveillance. Date. The day I went into labor. Location. Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Time. 43 minutes before my ambulance arrived. I looked up at Ethan. He was already watching me. The investigator believes, he said slowly, that Sophia was already inside the hospital before you got there. A cold shiver ran through my body. That meant one thing. She hadn't followed me by accident. She had been waiting. And suddenly, the attack no longer looked like a crime of passion. It looked like a plan. I couldn't stop staring at the surveillance report. Sophia had arrived at the hospital 43 minutes before I did. She wasn't there by coincidence. She had been waiting. The realization made my hands tremble. Ethan remained silent. For the first time since I met him, he wasn't trying to defend her. He wasn't trying to defend himself. "I gave the investigator everything," he said quietly. "My phone records. My bank statements. My emails. I wanted the truth, no matter how much it hurt." I closed the folder. "You finally got it." He nodded. "And I wish I hadn't." A knock interrupted us. Two detectives entered the room. One of them introduced himself. "Mrs. Morgan, Detective Harris." He looked at me kindly. "We believe we have enough evidence to charge Sophia Reed." I felt my heartbeat slow. "What kind of charges?" "Attempted murder." The words hung in the room. Ethan lowered his head. The detective continued. "The security footage shows Ms. Reed entering a restricted maternity hallway using a visitor badge that didn't belong to her." He placed several printed photographs on the table. "There are also witnesses who saw her waiting outside your room before the attack." Another officer added. "We recovered internet searches from her laptop." He opened another folder. The first search read, "How to enter a hospital without being noticed." The second, "Average blood loss during childbirth." The third made my blood run cold. "Can a pregnant woman survive a stab wound?" The room fell silent. Even Ethan couldn't look at the pages anymore. "I never knew," he whispered. Detective Harris looked directly at him. "Dr. Morgan, whether you knew or not, your decisions allowed her to get closer to your wife." Ethan didn't argue. He simply nodded. "I know." The detective gathered the files. "We'll be arresting Ms. Reed this afternoon." As they walked toward the door, Ethan suddenly spoke. "I'll testify." Both detectives turned. "I'll tell the court everything. The money. The lies. My relationship with her. Everything." After they left, Ethan remained standing by the window. "I spent years trying to save the wrong person," he said quietly. I looked at Grace sleeping peacefully beside me. "No," I answered without anger. "You spent years forgetting who needed saving." For the first time since our marriage began, neither of us had anything left to say. 6 months later, the divorce was final. I didn't cry when the judge signed the papers. I had already mourned my marriage in a hospital bed. The courtroom was almost empty. Ethan stood across from me wearing a simple navy suit instead of his white doctor's coat. He looked older. Tired. Like someone who hadn't slept peacefully in months. He signed the last page without saying a word. Before leaving, he looked at me one final time. "I'm sorry, Claire." I looked at him calmly. "I know." That was all. Some apologies come too late to change anything. A week later, Sophia accepted a plea agreement after overwhelming evidence proved she had planned the attack. She was sentenced to a long-term secure psychiatric facility under criminal supervision. The court ruled that her mental illness explained her condition. It did not excuse her actions. For the first time in years, she could no longer manipulate anyone. Ethan resigned from the hospital shortly afterward. His reputation never recovered. He had saved hundreds of strangers during his career. But the one person who needed him most had been his own wife. People remembered that. As for me, I sold the Malibu house. Too many memories lived inside those walls. Instead, Grace and I moved farther north along the California coast to a quiet home overlooking the ocean in Santa Barbara. It wasn't as large. It wasn't as expensive. But for the first time in years, it felt like home. Every evening, Grace and I walked along the beach. She had just learned to take her first steps. She laughed every time the waves touched her tiny feet. Sometimes she looked back at me just to make sure I was still there. And I always was. One evening, as the sun disappeared behind the Pacific Ocean, I realized something. I hadn't thought about Ethan all day. Not with anger. Not with sadness. Not at all. That was the moment I knew I was finally free. People think the greatest revenge is making someone suffer. They're wrong. The greatest revenge is creating a life so peaceful that the people who hurt you no longer occupy your mind. The day Ethan chose another woman, he believed he was saving someone he couldn't lose. Instead, he lost the only family that truly loved him. As I picked Grace up and held her close, she wrapped her tiny arms around my neck and whispered her very first word. Mama. I smiled through my tears. In that single moment, I realized something I wish I had understood years earlier. The worst day of my life had also become the beginning of my best one. Sometimes losing the wrong person is the only way to find the life you were always meant to live. And as another California sunset painted the ocean gold, I walked home with my daughter in my arms. Without ever looking back. The end.